Buongiorno! Just finished this week's episode of Jojo's Bizarre Adventure, Golden Wind.
Now, normally we're the type to read the manga first, but this time around we wanted that golden experience.
Subscribing to each week to get our reactions.
So we just watched episode 4.
Join the gang.
Yes.
So we pick off after this, what was it? It's clearly supposed to be Black Sabbath, but what do they call it?
It's Shadow Sabbath.
Shadow Sabbath.
Okay. Which is an alternatively even better band name.
Honestly.
Yes. But so we just right back into the stand battle, basically.
It's already happening. I suspected some things would, like, be set up or pacing, but no, we're just in it. It's already happening. Koichi just tags in. He's there.
Yeah, thank God.
Making it. He's making
we
it
were
so
right
good.
last week with it some kind of shadow thing, so it's stuck in the shadows. Yeah. It's a remote stand. I mean, it's all stuff we saw in part 4.
Yeah,
so we're pretty comfortable with it.
And that was definitely helped by Koichi just saying, like, oh yeah, this is just Kochiro Miro. Like, this is, I totally have dealt with this before. But
like
goes in the full story.
It gives Giorno a little bit of like sort of like highlights. But this is the first. I mean, this isn't his first battle, but this is his first victory. Giorno's first. Victory.
True. I mean, he beats Bruno.
I was like he kind of beat Bruno, but then not really.
Exactly. It's like how Josuke beat Okuyasu, but then like his brother was his, victory.
Which is interesting to talk about that. Like, we are immediately onto like an Arrow plot in the same kind of basic time frame as the, and it does seem like we said last time that like we didn't know if the Arrow was part of the stand. It seems like the stand and the Arrow were separate. Like the stand was using the Arrow Bombcat style.
Exactly.
Not that was like part of the stand.
Oh yeah, no, it did feel like that was separate, especially later on in the episode.
Yeah, because it's like shattered in the jail cell.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the Arrow is bleh. The whole thing is tied up.
It's kind of not important to the.
What's interesting? What's interesting is how well it's tied up. Like a normal JoJo character wouldn't have been so like finite with the decisions, but Giorno was like, no, I'm gonna fight this thing, I know how to beat it, I'm gonna beat it, and then I'm gonna go kill this person.
Yeah, just gonna banana gun him. Just boom.
That was such,
that was such a badass
That was a gangster move.
Gangster
move.
Oh my God.
It is interesting, because I saw a lot of parallels with Josuke in the sort of pacing of how he said things, his decisions, like, how he was fighting.
Which helps us read with Koichi that, like, it's like, oh, he's a Joestar, and, like, Koichi, in the same way that we're recognizing he's a Joestar, Koichi is, and that's why Koichi's cool with him.
Exactly.
That makes sense completely.
I loved the stand battle. Again, we were about to, like, kind of martial arts moves on it. They, like, were, like, blocking and pushing each other around. I love the design of Black Sabbath just a lot. I love the hat and cape.
Can we talk about that alien, like,
music in the
Oh my gosh,
so and a lot of the animation in that fight, especially with Black Sabbath, obviously, a lot of effect-driven animation. Not a lot of like just. There was that one physical altercation moment where like there was a little bit of wrestling, but a lot of it was
just like the speed grabs out of the shadows.
Yes,
and stuff.
and they had when we were saying.
I just love how like Jordan was just touching the shadow. He's like, is he gonna do it again? And then he moves, and then he walks away.
Exactly.
And he touches it again, he moves, and then he walks away.
I love a lot of it. Wasn't so much in the sense of like what you see a lot in like anime battles of where it's a lot of punching, a lot of throwing, a lot of this. It was mostly just grab and release, which was really unique and gave us a full perspective of exactly how that stand was working specifically.
And they did a really good job of putting the scale of like, no, Black Sabbath does not look like a big beefy stand. We're used to big beefy stands. However, we're still told it beats the shit out of Golden Experience.
Yeah, Golden Experience again, like for like the third time, you're like, yeah, it's not a very strong physical stand.
Yeah, and they're very pushing like like oh no, like Black Sabbath in the Shadow is strong and fast, but Golden Experience is fast but not strong. They're hitting these stages. In
and they what is it? We got a little bit more of Golden Experience's powers. He like time wipes a tree,
just destroys
like just ages it like through.
Yeah.
So that's a new. I mean, obviously we knew he's a Joestar. He's going to control time in some way.
It's going to happen.
But
really is Dio, son.
episode 4, like come on.
Gotta whip it out. But again,
Jesus.
it's going to be as flexible as hell. What with I can turn the balcony into some vines. I got snake
that was
buddies.
cool. Yeah, moving the shadows away.
A gun.
Teleporting from like shadow to shadow,
Exactly.
even like flying where like the crows were flying. He was just like riding through the shadow. That was cool. I thought that was awesome.
It was
good.
a
It's like you were saying, like it's very like a chess move kind of like thing,
Yes.
which is what we love about JoJo.
Exactly.
And one thing that I loved and didn't understand until like the end of the battle with the stand was how patient the stand was. It was like, yeah, I'm just gonna stand here in the shadow, no big deal. I'm literally gonna walk back and forth. And then we're explained by Koichi that it's actually like just it has to fulfill its work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's
It's
got
automatic,
It's just that.
man.
So it's like, yeah, no, just waiting for my turn.
It
All
clicks
good to go.
in, and what is
Yeah.
it? It's again, it's a very rule followy stand, and it's a very chess match thing. It reminds us, you know, it's so much like the tank.
Yeah, which is
Tracking
interesting because
tank.
that's I thought Black Sabbath might end up being like an overarching kind of villain stand because it's like, okay, well we saw it in remote mode. There's an opportunity to see it not like like Polpo using it more directly.
Exactly.
But we didn't get that. That's
But
fine.
We
yeah.
can talk about Polpo because that's a big thing that came from this episode is the fact that Giorno was like, no, you killed an innocent man. You thought it was okay. I am going to
take your life
murder
now.
you.
Yeah, true.
He went
Again.
by his rule book.
Exactly.
So he was like, yeah, I only did exactly what you told me to do.
Exactly.
Simple as that.
Completely finite, intense like situation. Josuke kills one person by turning him into a book, right? It's like not,
Right.
no one really kills anyone. They always just like, no, I'm gonna force stamp you out of existence. Even at the end of, my favorite part of part 3 is when they keep putting in like, oh, by the way, he's in the hospital. Like, I know Jotaro just punched him to a building, but he's in the hospital.
He's
But
fine.
no, here we are told 100% that he's like, no, if you cross me,
Yeah.
Their hands are going to get dirty this season, which I'm really excited to see.
There are real stakes, there are real characters, and what's even better is how...
I just love how Polpo was hiding behind a giant pizza and just like slurped it up.
Don't eat a pizza from the middle. God, I'm glad I
Yes,
never have
you
to
do.
see him
Yeah,
again.
thank God.
Just never again. Ugh.
I just love how he was just looking through the room. He's like, is he here? And he was just... I was behind a pizza the entire
Polpo,
time.
man, what a character.
Rest in
What I
peace.
think is really interesting
Rip.
is how we talked initially about how guns, I think, are going to be a lot more used
Yeah.
in this. And we saw really our first, like we've seen guns, but we haven't seen anyone get shot or anything like that.
Yeah.
This was the first use
That's
of
true.
an actual bullet that we've
Polpo
seen.
died to a conventional gun, basically.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
at the end of the day, it was a bullet that killed him.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
what, of course. And you even saw Black Sabbath for a 1/10 of a second.
Yeah, he like tried
He
to
was
flash
oh, God,
out.
like, no,
yeah.
I just pulled the trigger inside
Yeah.
my gut. And the best part is, that happened after Koichi was like, you know what, he's actually a pretty good guy.
And then after, literally, Coach is outside the prison being like, I think we're good, General.
I'm not going to tell you the
worries.
whole story. I'm just going to dick around Italy. Because I'm a child. Oh my god. we're so
Which is good, so he's still bouncing around. He'll come back,
Yeah.
I'm sure, at
Act
some
3,
point.
freeze your ass.
And then,
Yeah.
obviously, we saw literally
Oh,
all the rest of the
fine.
gangsters
I'm so
from the opening.
excited.
Oh god.
So it's not even going to be an episode by episode we're going to roll people into the crew. It's
No.
just like,
Yeah,
no,
they
we're
are.
the crew now.
Slim it. And the best part is, I even thought initially that they were going to do a separate sort of situation where they meet them one-on-one, or there's more, like, zipper dude thing where they have to, like, fight.
Yeah, they
the
gotta,
other
like,
ones
one
and
at a
bring them
time,
in. But
like,
no,
bring them in.
But no, and what were you saying about the grouping of the stand people? Like,
Oh, yeah. I love that Buccarati is just like, oh, no, these are my men. They're all standing.
Oh,
It's like, oh, of course, Bruno already is like, well, I mean, I'm not going to put a not stand user on my team. Like,
These are gonna
Jesus
win.
Christ.
what am I
That's
going to do?
it.
Give them a gun? That's lame.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah. What I think is interesting is here we're being introduced to characters so quickly with a season that is going to be fairly long.
Oh, yeah.
And being introduced to everything so quickly means that they've got a lot in store for us.
Yeah, especially,
with so many people involved. Instead of spending time on, okay, let's introduce these characters
One at a time.
one by one.
One of the interesting things talking about, like, Bruno having the gangster crew together, if you look at the opening where they have the shot of them all standing, kind of, like, walking forward, Bruno is in front of Giorno, like, leading the crew. Like, he's like, right-hand manning, like, opening the door for, like, Giorno as boss.
Exactly.
So I don't know, the dynamic there, the same thing with Bruno being, like, at the end of the introductions of all the people
the
in the opening.
caretaker. almost.
Yeah, like, it puts Bruno in a really unique position, which is cool.
I
Yeah.
think that's interesting in the sense of, like, for the finale, having him be at the end and, like, Asian culture, it's more respectful for, like, the leader to be at the, like, to come in last.
Mm-hmm.
So to have him kind of, like, letting everybody in, that means he would be the last through the door.
True,
and
true.
at the end of the episode, him being the last person seen, that kind of can like lead us to believe that he's going to be pretty much maybe the leader of this group in the first place.
Yeah.
Which I think might be really interesting.
It looks like he's gonna. Well, that's the thing. He even said that. Yeah, I mean,
Gangstar.
Giorno, sure, you're a gangstar, but you got to prove it first. And I'm in on it, but you gotta like. I think every episode is gonna be Giorno just like proving again and again how like boss he is.
How big of a boner Bruno should have for him.
Exactly. And we're about to find out everybody's boners next episode.
Yeah,
we're really
absolutely.
excited about that. I can't wait to dig through these characters. So check us out next time. Let us know
next week and comment below what you guys think of the Gangstar Squad.
眠れない闇